Cue the intro.
This is your path to be. We're all here just for all the fun. Now you're jamming hard, yeah. Hype it up all once again. Hype it up. Now you're jamming hard, yeah. Hype it up all once again. Hype it up.
Yes, that's right. Okay, about that. Yeah, that's right. We are back with another video, guys. And when I'm not going around the Grand Line trying to blow up the world government and start a new world war against, well, everyone, I'm here making new videos. Now, obviously, since my last video did fairly well, me talking about the Resident Evil games, I thought I'd do something a little bit different. And obviously, since it's my birthday week coming up, well, my birthday is coming within a week of this recording, with my birthday being obviously next Wednesday, being the 24th of April, I thought I'd just get out a nice quick little video of me talking about who I think the best girls are in fiction. Now, with this one, we are going through like several different genres. We're going through anime, video games, basically everything I can think of. And these who I would determine who I believe are the most, like the best female characters in those genres. They have to be like well written, well, very attractive. Basically, just the general standard really for what you would class for a decent looking female character in fiction. So, without further ado, let's just jump right in. So the the first one we got is Mitsuri from Demon Slayer. I mean, do I have to say anything else really? I mean, you see her design, you see how she sounds in both the subbed and the dubbed version of the anime. She's fucking fantastic, and I was very happy to see that we got to see more of her in obviously the most recent season, being the Swordsmith Village arc. Next we got Himeno and Power from Chainsaw Man. I couldn't decide between the two because obviously, out of all the female characters that have appeared in Chainsaw Man, especially within the most recent chapters, it's a bit difficult to try and actually pick who I would decide is best girl out of them, but I think it's more of a toss-up between Power and Himeno. Next we got Mirin Kitagawa from My Dress Up Darling. Now, I'm not really one for romance animes, but Christ alive is this character, like, pretty much perfect from start to finish. I'm fully caught up with the manga. I'm waiting for the next season to come out. I just absolutely love this character entirely. Next we got Ceres Victoria from Hellsing. Out of the, three female characters we got in all of Hellsing, Ceres is probably the closest one to actually being a decently written character. Although I'm not too fond of her in Hellsing Ultimate, I do prefer her in the Hellsing OVA series. Mostly because of the fact that she's more of like an audience perspective on the entire becoming a vampire thing. Next, we have Android 18 and Videl from Dragon Ball Z. Obviously, Android 18, fair people that know me personally know that I really love Android 18, who's one of my favourite female characters in most anime. But Videl, yeah, that's like easily like first, pretty much like childhood crush you'd have over a fictional character. Next we got Rebecca from Cyberpunk Edgerunners. I got into this anime very late on the hype train of it, and yeah, I binged the whole thing in a single day. And out of all the other female characters, very much like with other animes, I'd say Rebecca is possibly the most decent choice. Although yeah, her death, spoilers, is very tragic, and Yeah, if I had to choose between her and Lucy, I'd say Rebecca is obviously the more fun kind of character. Next we got Winry Rockbell and Riza Hawkeye from Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist. Full Metal Alchemist.
Both fantastic characters. Then you got the usual like obvious love interest in Winry Rockbell between her and Edward Edward Elric, which obviously would blossom over time. But then you also got the same professional romantic relationship between Hawkeye and Roy Mustang. And obviously, with the last few characters being blondes, it's very obvious I have a type at this point. Next, I'm cheating again a little bit here with 3 characters. Mitsumi Bakugo, Mountain Lady, and Midnight, all from My Hero Academia. I'm not the biggest My Hero Academia fan. I wouldn't call myself a hardcore fan of MHA. But with how far, I'm not too far behind in the series, but I just haven't watched season 6 yet. That's all I haven't watched, really. Because I find it more of a casual series to watch. But yeah, out of all the characters that are introduced, I know you got obviously like all the schoolgirl characters and all that, and that's kind of basic, kinda. But yeah, then you got these 3 characters. Obviously, Mitsumi Bakugo loses a few points, obviously, because she brought Bakugo into the world. I absolutely hate Bakugo as a character, so yeah, have fun with that. I mean, Mountain Lady, obviously, I've mostly only seen cosplays of this character. Even though you barely see her in the show anyway, you can tell she has a bit of an impact on the fan base. And Midnight, I just love that shit anyway. I was going to put Melissa from this first My Hero Academia movie, but at the same time I feel like it was too obvious, especially on my part. Then you actually see the obvious theme of me liking blondes. Next we got Asuka from Neon Genesis Evangelion. Now it doesn't matter which version of Asuka it is, whether it be the original version from the actual show or the rebuilt version of Asuka from the movies. I think she works both in either version, but I do kind of prefer, like in the subconscious level, the German like version of her. Even though yeah, she's not dubbed in German, she's like full-blown voiced by an American actress. But yeah, it's fine. But obviously, it comes down to the major choice out of the 2 main girls being either was it Rei or Asuka. To me, it's going to be Asuka. Next, we got Shuko Comey from Comey Can't Communicate. I got into this series again. I got into it through the manga. I'm not fully caught up with the manga, but I ended up, after reading the first 5 or 6 volumes, I ended up binge watching the Netflix anime. Absolutely love it. But out of all the characters I do find genuinely attractive is Shuko Comey, Comey's mother. It's like, yeah, nah, I prefer the MILF energy. Next we got Panty from Panty and Stocking with Garter Bell. Awesome show. She's one of my favourite characters out of the entire series. Cannot wait for the 2nd season to come out, and it's really, really good to see Studio Trigger is coming back to animate season 2 after over 10 years of waiting on this cliffhanger to be concluded. Next we got Bayonetta from the Bayonetta series, the first video game character on this list. Now, just to clarify, I've not played Bayonetta 3, I've played most of the first one, played a little bit of the second one, never finished any of the Bayonetta games, but overall I would say if I had to pick out of the 3 versions of Bayonetta we have, Bayonetta's design in Bayonetta 2 is probably my favourite. She just has like that weird like silver fox-ish, middle-aged librarian teacher kind of look. And that definitely works for me. Next we got Ramona Flowers and Lisa Miller from the Scott Pilgrim series. Obviously everyone knows Ramona Flowers because, well, if you're about my age or, well, roughly around my age, like if you're in your late teens, early 20s, possibly even 30s, you would have probably seen the Scott Pilgrim movie at this point, or might have actually did the same thing I did, read more into the comic books. And honestly, yeah, I do like Ramona Flowers, but also I do feel like Lisa Miller, who's not in any version of Scott Pilgrim to date, apart from being in the comic books, is pretty underrated when it comes to being a love interest in Scott Pilgrim. Next, we got a classic waifu to add to the list, Lum from Urusei Yatsura. I mean, what can I say? I mean, the series has been around for over 40 years. Lum is as iconic of best anime girl as it gets. What can you do? Then we got Nightfall from Spy Family. Now, when it came to choosing a character, I wanted to add a character from Spy Family, but considering the fact that there's only, well, from what I've watched, because the only thing I haven't seen of Spy Family yet, I haven't seen the new movie yet, because it hasn't come out in the UK yet. Yeah, out of all the female characters in Spy Family, I couldn't decide amongst a lot of them, but then I thought, fuck it, I'll play it safe. Like, if I just picked Yor, it would have been a bit too safe. Then at the same time, I wanted to try and go for someone that not many people would consider being a best girl. To me, it's Nightfall. I just like crazy bitches. Next, we got Beatrix Armerhauser from Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. I recently started getting into the series, and I've nearly finished watching season 1. I haven't watched the live-action Netflix movie yet, but I do plan on probably doing it at some point. Yeah, she's just every bit of fantastic. Like, I love the bright optimism of this character, and how, like, she can be a little bit funny, but she can just be really adorable, and how wide-eyed and naive she is. Next, we got Cindy Oram from Final Fantasy 15. Now, I did not finish Final Fantasy 15, but I did end up playing it thanks to this character. Just because I wanted to see everything about this character, mostly because she reminds me like a weird combination of like Winry Rockbell from Full Metal Alchemist and Trish from Devil May Cry. I was like, fuck it, I mean, it got me into Final Fantasy 15, I'd say that much. Next we got Aerith Gainsborough from Final Fantasy VII, another classic best girl in all fictional media. Obviously, I know most people would pick Tifa Lockhart for this, but to me, I like the more innocent, sweeter characters like Aerith. And her design in the remake, although I still have not played Final Fantasy Remake or Intergrade or Rebirth or any of that shit, I really do like her redesign for this version. Next we got Earth 65 Gwen Stacy from Marvel Comics. Obviously, most people would know her through the Spider-Verse movies or from the Spectacular Spider-Man. I think it's Spectacular Spider-Man, or it might be one of the other Spider-Man animated shows. But yeah, most people would know her from that. I got into her through the Ghost Spider comics, and honestly, I just love the way her character is designed and how much of a almost polar opposite she is from the original Gwen Stacy. Next, we got Chloe Price from Life is Strange. I started getting back into Life is Strange after a couple years of not being like fully active into the series, but since pretty much lockdown, I did manage to get back into Life is Strange, and honestly, Chloe Price is one of the two characters I absolutely adore in the series. Obviously, Chloe Price being the main one for me, the other one would be Rachel Amber from Life is Strange Before the Storm, and sometimes Max Caulfield from the first Life is Strange. Next we got Juliet Starling from Lollipop Chainsaw, another video game character. I really want this game to be remade very, very soon. I know the remake has been planned, it's been discussed and everything, and James Gunn probably might come back to do the entire thing with it. It's hard, really, trying to describe this character without sounding creepy enough to the point where YouTube might end up either blocking this video or just completely demonetizing it. And this is going to be demonetized anyway the further we go along down the line. Next, again, I'm cheating a little bit here, mostly because I couldn't make up my mind, but I wanted to add someone from this series. I literally just put every female character in one piece. It doesn't matter which one it is, they're all fucking gorgeous, they're all fucking flawless. Apart from the obvious ones, but yet it is kind of the common trope as well, like, every female character we come across is just another reskin of Nami, blah blah blah. Yeah, I mean, can you blame me really though? I mean, once you see any female character from One Piece, it makes my brain go awooga. Next we got Jill Valentine and Ashley Graham from Resident Evil. I would have put in Ada Wong or Sheva into the series, or even Claire Redfield, because I love Claire Redfield to pieces, but Jesus Christ, like, Jill and Ashley have been there from my perspective from the beginning since I started playing Resident Evil games. That's all I can say. Next we got Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter. Now, I grew up with all the Harry Potter movies. I never read any of the books, mind you. I was more in tune with the movies, and honestly, out of all the characters in that franchise, Luna Lovegood, hands down my favourite character in the entire books. Next we got another one with multiple characters in one spot. Starting to see a theme here. We got Jolene Cujo, Holly Cujo, Lisa, and Lucy Steele, all from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. As you guys know, I fucking love JoJo. I'm fully caught up with the series. I'm caught up with the manga at the moment, and it's absolutely mind-blowing. But obviously we got all these 4 distinct characters from 4 distinct parts. Well, you got Jolene Cujo, who is the main JoJo in Part 6. We got Holly Cujo, who is the mother of Jotaro Kujo in Part 3. Lisa, who is one of the main characters in Part 2. And Lucy Steele, who is a side character from Part 7 and Part 8. I mean, I hope Part 7 gets adapted just so we can see how Lucy Steele's going to look in like this modern era of animation for JoJo. Next, we got the first live-action... Yeah, possibly the first live-action character we've added onto this list. Clara Oswald from Doctor Who. Alright, and obviously, if you had to get me to gun to my head, choose which of one of the companions from classic Doctor Who, I wouldn't be able to name any of them apart from Sarah Jane. But when it comes to modern Doctor Who, my personal favourite, I couldn't decide between Clara, Clara Oswald, Martha Jones, or Amy Pond. But after rewatching Doctor Who, being caught up fully to the Ncuti Gatwa series, I would have put in Ruby Sunday on the list, but at the same time we haven't had a full season of her character yet, so I thought I'd put that on hold. But obviously I'm putting Clara Oswald in there because she's just my personal favourite from the modern era of Doctor Who. Next we've got Cassie Cage from Mortal Kombat. Now if you had to get me to pick what character design of her I prefer, it's got to be the Mortal Kombat 11 design. Easily my favourite. Next we got Ida Clawthorne from the Owl House. I didn't watch it all the way through, but when I fairly recently got the chance to start watching the Owl House, I really got into it because I love dark fantasy stuff. And Ida just gives that nice, like, borderline level between being a MILF and GILF. I know I was saying it like that way, I don't care. Next we got Frankie Foster from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Easily my earliest childhood crush right there. I know some people would have like Gwen Tennyson or one of the Powerpuff Girls or whatever. Nah, Frankie Foster to me, easily, flawless redhead. Next we've got another flawless redhead, Wendy Corduroy from Gravity Falls. Need I say more? That's all I can say about Wendy. Next we got Ash, Widowmaker, Tracer, and Mercy from Overwatch. I've played my fair share of Overwatch. I've recently started getting back into it by playing a little bit of Overwatch 2, and I forgot how terrible I am. If you had to put me a gun to my head, obviously with who I would pick out of the 4, my go-to would be Ash, just because I love her character design and I love the American Southern accent of women. But yeah, they are my 4 general favourite characters in Overwatch, even as a whole. Next we got Princess Zelda, but if you guys want to know who I prefer specifically, it is the Twilight Princess version of Princess Zelda, just because I just love the hot design of her. It would have been a bit cheating if I decided to put the Skyward Sword design, or the Breath of the Wild design, or even the Tears of the Kingdom design, but I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom yet, so I can't put my foot down that, even though it is pretty much just the exact same design anyway. Next we got Rosalina from Super Mario Galaxy, easily my favourite princess from all the Mario games. Like, Daisy is obviously there, and then you got Princess Peach, who is just a little bit too obvious and too basic for my taste, but I do prefer Rosalina's design. Completely, and I do think she's a better character, and obviously my first introduction to her was with everyone else's through Super Mario Galaxy. Next we got Cammy White from the Street Fighter franchise. I absolutely love this character. She is hands down my main in the series. I know some people will prefer Yuri or Chun-Li, but nah, Cammy White, I wouldn't mind if I get crushed between them thighs. Next we got Poison Ivy, but if I had to pick an iteration of my favourite version of Poison Ivy, it's the Arkham Asylum design. I mean, you've seen the design, that's like easily awkward boners for 9-year-old me. Next we got another DC character, Harley Quinn. But if I had to pick another version of Harley Quinn, it's gotta be the Batman Ninja design. I think that's probably my favourite overall design apart from the Arkham City design of Harley Quinn. Even in a funeral outfit as well in the Harley Quinn's Revenge expansion. But yeah, I'd say Ancient Japan version of Harley Quinn. Yeah, that's pretty hot. Next we got alternate universe version of Torn Bandicoot from Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. First non-human character I've added on this list. Before anyone asks in the comments, no, I'm not a furry. But damn, that ass be thick. Next we got the reignited version of Allura from Spyro 2, Gateway to Glimmer, or Riptor's Rage if you're living in America. I do prefer the reignited trilogy design of Allura. Again, no, not a furry, but damn, I would plow that ass into oblivion. Next, we also got Buffy Summers from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I grew up being a big Buffy fan. I love the TV show, I love the comic books, I even loved all the spin-offs like Angel and so forth. This turned into my first actual celebrity crush, being my huge crush on Sarah Michelle Gellar, and it still is like that to this day. If I had the chance to meet Sarah Michelle Gellar, I would absolutely adore that. But damn. But at first I did see her as like the attractive, like the cool older sister when I grew up watching the series, but then as I got older I was like, yeah, nah, I definitely bash one out to this. Next we got Janie Bell from the Zombie Tramp comics. Now, Zombie Tramp I'd say is a very underrated horror comic book series. I started reading it when I was in college and really started to get into it. She's a prostitute that turns into a zombie but then goes around the entire world fighting other monsters, killing bad people, and also trying to find a cure for herself. It's got a lot of dark humor, but damn, it's fucking good. Next we got Enid Sinclair from Wednesday. We must protect this character at all costs. I love the actress, she's absolutely fucking hilarious, and I was very skeptical when it came to watching Wednesday. I thought it was going to be a little bit too overhyped for my liking. And obviously, with Tim Burton's current track record with making shit, it wasn't looking that good from my point of view, being a big Tim Burton fan to begin with. Enid has easily just become my favourite character in the entire show. I knew from episode 1 when she was introduced, I absolutely adored that character. Next we got Raven from DC Comics. I know I'm going to use a lot of footage from Teen Titans because that's where a lot of people know her from. That's where I was introduced to her, but I didn't properly fall in love with this character until it came to the DC Comics. Next we got Nancy Callahan from Sin City. Again, I wasn't introduced to her through the comics, I was more introduced to her through the movie, because I knew she was played by Jessica Alba even before I saw the movie, because I've seen Jessica Alba in a bunch of other stuff beforehand. But it got me into the Sin City comic books, and then I fell in love with the character more and more every single time I reread those 6 graphic novels. Next, we got Julie Winters from the Max, a very, very underrated animated series that used to be on MTV in the 90s. I read a few of the comic books and thought it was really awesome. But Julie Winters, despite how much of a tragic of a character she is, I absolutely just love it. She was like a more like alternative late 90s version of Sarah from The Crow. Like, or pretty much like how I'd picture Sarah turning out in The Crow later down the line after going through that traumatic experience. Next we got Emma Frost from the X-Men comics. I read a lot of the X-Men comics before I saw any of the movies or TV shows. Out of all the female characters, I mean, Mystique would obviously be my a personal go-to, mostly because of the whole shapeshifting. She can make herself look however you want her to. That's fine, but Christ, I would love to bust a nut on those diamonds. Then we got Black Cat from, but more specifically, like the version of Felicia Hardy I had to go for straight away was Insomniac's Spider-Man version. of Black Cat. I've seen so many mods of this character. I even 100%ed Spider-Man just for that. And I love the camera function because you can now take a photo of anything that catches your eye, especially when it comes to a character like that. They should not have designed it like that, but I don't care. Next we got Anne Takamaki from Persona 5. I never finished Persona 5. I never finished it when I had it on the Switch, I never finished it when I had it on the Xbox. I might try and get it on PC and finish that way. I've only watched, actually no, yeah, I have only watched a little bit of the Persona 5 anime, but straight away when I was playing through those first few levels, Anne Takamaki is hands down my favourite Persona character in the entire series. Now I only dive back and forth in sometimes of the Persona series, but I would say out of all the female characters that have been introduced in the franchise thus far, Anne is, gratefully my favourite character. And we also got another character developed from Atlas Studios, C. Catherine from Catherine. I've not played Full Body yet. I really want to. I can't get it on the Switch. I can't get it on the PlayStation because I don't have a PS5 or a PS4. But I did play the original Catherine all the way through from start to finish. I got every ending. But the first ending I strived to get was to get with the succubus C. Catherine. Yo, I want to be immortal in fucking hell forever. That would be funny. I'll do that shit for the meme. Next, we got Celty from Durarara. That's basically Comey done right. Like, if you were to tell me, like, you found Comey attractive, like, nah. This is Comey before Comey. That character is just fucking beautiful. Even when you saw her back when she had a head, damn. I'd fuck that neck anywhere. Next, we got Rei Miyamoto from High School of the Dead. Great character. First adult anime I ever watched. Well, the first ecchi series I ever watched. And this is what got me into, like, more mature anime. This was like the borderline hentai going into shit for me growing up. Absolutely love the anime, love the manga. Yeah. Out of all the 4 female characters that are introduced in that show, yeah, Rei is easily my favourite. Next we got Rias Gremory from High School DD, or DxD if you're a fucking degenerate. Easily hands down best girl in the entire show. Need I say more? Because it's usually, for me, it's a toss-up between her and Zenobia, who, although Zenobia doesn't really get introduced until the 2nd season, still, I'd fuck with Rias. Next we got a VTuber on here, Shy Lily. Yo, I wanna go for that butthole blast any day. If she's gonna treat me like shit, I don't care, I'll be into it. Next, we got the fucking greatest gremlin VTuber as well, Iron Mouse as well. Iron Mouse is an absolute vibe. Like, I vibe with that brain cell every day. Next, we got Slan from Berserk. I got into Berserk at too young of an age. But yeah, putting Casca, I would actually refuse to put Casca on this list, mostly because I don't like Casca as a character. Need I say that? Next we got Tsunade from Naruto. Obviously, I love MILFs. All I can say. Next we got Liz and Patty Thompson from Soul Eater. Like, it feels kind of wrong to have one and not the other, so I thought, fuck it, I'll just put both of them in the same spot. Because why not? Next we got Misa Ammane from Death Note. This was what first got me into goth girls. Leave me alone. If she's gonna kick my ass, she's gonna kick my ass, I don't care. Next we got Rangoku Matsumoto from Bleach. She's literally the only reason I started to read and watch Bleach. I like big titties. And it's the fact she's a red-headed big titty woman, I'm like, yes. And next, finally, we got Meiko Shiraki from Prison School. I'm not allowed to show any, I'm not going to show any video footage on YouTube because I think that would get my channel completely banned. But watch Prison School and you'll know what I mean. So, that's it. Those are my top favourite female characters in all fiction. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think on who your favourite female characters are in fiction, and see if we can share the same brain cell. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notifications bells, and also don't forget to go down in the description down below where you can find me on my Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, everything. I'll be live streaming as regularly as I can, and I'll see you guys in the next one.